When Lunch Fights Back, Wickedly Clever Animal Defenses by Rebecca L. Johnson. Chapter 6. Here's Blood in Your Eye. Texas horned lizard. Scientific name Phenosoma cornotum. Phenosoma cornotum. Distribution: Texas, New Mexico, Oklahoma, Kansas, Colorado, and northern Mexico. Habitat: dry, scrubby grasslands. Size: 2.5 to 4.5 inches, 6.4 to 11 centimeters, not including tail. Spots, stripes, and earth tone colors help horned lizards blend into dry, rocky ground. A horned lizard basks beneath the hot Texas sun. It rests in a dry gully, digesting a belly full of ants. The only sounds are the rustle of wind through the grass and a distant hawk's cry. But the lizard feels something. A slight tremor runs through the ground. Something is coming, something big enough to be a threat. The lizard sees the coyote as it crests the hill and trots down into the gully. Like a balloon deflating, the lizard flattens itself against the ground. The knobs and spines on its scaly skin blend with the rocks that surround it. The horns on its head even cast small shadows, breaking up the lizard's outline. It's perfect camouflage. But perfect camouflage is not enough. The coyote has keen eyesight and superb sense of smell. It catches the lizard's scent and stalks over to investigate. Knowing it's been discovered, the lizard tries to look big and fierce. It spreads out its spine rimmed back to make its body seem wider. It brandishes the horns on its head, but the coyote isn't put off. Snarling, it bares its teeth to bite. The horned lizard resorts to its secret weapon. It tenses its muscles and arches its back. It closes its eyes as the eyelids seem to swell. Suddenly, a thin stream of blood shoots out of the lizard's right eye. It rockets through the air like a jet of water fired from a squirt gun. The blood hits the coyote right in the mouth. The coyote makes a face and shakes its head, trying to get rid of the blood. The lizard sees its chance to escape. It darts over to a low rock ledge and squeezes beneath it, beyond the reach of the coyote's teeth and claws. A coyote that attacks a horned lizard is in for a bloody, bad tasting surprise. The science behind the story. If you want to know something about horned lizards, ask Wade Sherbrooke. A biologist with the American Museum of Natural History, Sherbrooke is a world expert on horned lizards and their blood squirting defense. He's spent years figuring out how it works. When a horned lizard is threatened, it tightens certain muscles in its head. The muscles squeeze on large veins, restricting the blood's movement. Blood can flow into the lizard's head, but it can't flow out. As blood accumulates in the lizard's head, the pressure inside blood vessels builds. Eventually, tiny blood vessels and tissues around one of the lizard's eyes rupture. Blood suddenly comes squirting out from around the lower edge of the eye, through the tear duct. Scientists aren't sure if all species of horned lizards can shoot blood from their eyes. Those that do, however, can put on an impressive show. They may alternate eyes, shooting first from one, then the other. And the amount of blood they let loose can be substantial. In one set of experiments, Sherbrooke and his colleague, George Middendorf, found that some horned lizards, when threatened repeatedly, squirted out more than half the blood in their bodies, and they survived just fine. We don't think that the lizards use this much blood defensively in the wild, Sherbrooke said. He suspects that most horned lizards use only a few squirts. Interestingly, horned lizards tend to reserve their bloody weapon for members of the dog and cat families. The reason? The taste of horned lizard blood is something dogs, foxes, coyotes, bobcats, and their relatives apparently can't stand. In our experiments, we've demonstrated that horned lizard blood contains compounds that are distasteful to canids and felids, dog and cat family members, Sherbrooke explained. In order to be effective, a horned lizard's bloody defense must be accurately aimed. The blood needs to hit receptors in the mouth. For horned lizards, that means their aim has to be deadly, or they'll likely end up dead. And here you see a horned lizard shoots a well-aimed stream of blood from one of its eyes. And then over here you can see an image of the horned toad shooting blood pretty far. Blood released from a horned lizard's eye is under so much pressure that it can travel many feet through the air.